Good evening. Today is June 12th, 2024. This is the Norfolk Conservation Commission meeting. First on the agenda is 41 Turner Street, public hearing.
You have to read the disclaimer.
The notice there that
In accordance with the provision of MGL Chapter 30, Section 20, notice is hereby given. The Conservation Commission will meet on Wednesday, June 12th at 7 p.m. in the Town Meeting Room, 124, 1 Liberty Lane, Norfolk. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in person at 1 Liberty Lane, Norfolk, Mass., or by the remote Zoom connection provided. Please note that the in-person meeting will not be suspended or terminated if technology problems interrupt the remote connection. With that, we are now online with NCTV and the public hearing for 41 Turner Street.
And so there would need to be a vote to open meeting for tonight.
Okay.
I'll make that motion to open 41 Turner Street, DEP number 240.
No, I'm sorry,
Meeting.
to open the
Oh, to open the meeting?
the Conservation Commission
Conservation
meeting.
Commission meeting. I'll make that motion then.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry
Nay.
about that. Okay.
Okay, we're open and ready to go. 41 Turner Street, notice of intent, DEP file 2400667. Applicant? Russ?
Yes, evening, everybody. Back again. So last time...
You gotta introduce yourself again.
Russ Walden, Political Sciences, here for 41 Turner Street. So at the last meeting, I was asked to extend my wetland flags up to the pipe under Turner Street. I did that, hung 5 more flags, and that was it. Beyond that, I don't have a whole lot else to report, so if any questions?
Caitlin, you've inspected the flags.
Yes, that's correct.
Any comments?
So the additional flagging does push the limit of work closer to wetland resource areas. And I believe we had sort of talked about this at the last meeting, and requiring some sort of vegetative buffer in between where the driveway is and that stream, and potentially additional construction phase special conditions just to make sure that channel is protected while the driveway is being installed.
Putting down a barrier?
So the erosion controls that are proposed are a silt sock with a silt fence. I would recommend a minimum 12-inch diameter sock used in conjunction with the silt fence, and then I think as far as erosion controls, that would be appropriate. Maybe something like a construction entrance or stabilization area while that driveway is being installed. Presumably that would be the first phase of work because they need to, get the equipment back there. Potentially could even require that, the driveway be installed and graded and temporary erosion control seed mix be put down while the rest of construction is ongoing, and then going back in overseeing with something that has a wildlife habitat value
Afterwards. Okay. Questions from the board?
I read somewhere along the line got sent to me in regards to 39, or one of the residents next door sent us a big 3-page thing. Should we be concerned with that, or are we good?
So I read through that, and I believe an abutter here would like to read that into the record.
Okay, we'll wait for that. Is there any other questions, comments? Then we'll open it up to the audience. Russ, do you have anything else you want to say at this point?
No, I've pretty much covered everything there is to cover
Okay,
by now, so
all right. Thank
fire
you.
away.
Why don't you just have a seat and let's see what's, all right, we'll talk about.
And Russ, this is the letter. I don't know if you seen that.
Okay, I'll open up the meeting to the audience. Please state your name and your address. It's on.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Seeley. We're at 47 Turner Street. I didn't get a chance to speak after the past two, so I wanted to start by first thanking Russ for answering some questions at the last meeting, but I do have a few additional questions based on his comments. The first one would be just a request that at the April 10th meeting, it was mentioned that the barn will be a workshop, possibly an art studio. They're not doing anything with the animals per the animal rescue being open to the public. So would like the notice of intent to be amended to remove that part and say that it's just a single residence, if that is what the application actually now is. Regarding the tree clearing, the comment keeps being made that they're clearing as little trees as needed. Within the buffer, it looks like there's about 17 trees that are being cleared for the driveway, and about 5 of them look like they're on the edge of the wetland now that it has been moved. So again, we'd just like to request there be some sort of a tree clearing plan or marked trees that are being removed and trees that cannot be removed, just to make sure that it doesn't get extensive. And then, kind of on that same fact, can I approach that screen?
Yes, you may.
So if you look on Google Earth, this is 47 Turner Street here. So I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this. So this line here is 157 feet, and then it's 167 feet to the house. And then the house is 48 by 38. And then there's another handful of feet out to the proposed well. It doesn't give information there, but if I measure, I imagine if this is, I think, 25 feet as required, so maybe that's 35 feet. If I add all of that up, I'm getting 157 feet times 276, which would total about 43,000 square feet. Is that correct?
For what? The size of the lot?
Because that would, just want to understand, that amount of square footage is an acre of eastern pine trees that are being removed. So it's not clearing as minimal trees as possible. Almost an acre of evergreens are being removed, and I just want to ask, is there any concern from the commission on how that will affect wetlands and that sort of thing? I'm just asking a question, because it's not a minimal amount. That seems fairly extensive. And then just on the animals, Jim clarified, thank you for this, the 2 mini pigs, 4 goats, peacock, geese, and chickens. And he said the 6 large animals were birds and would be in pens. So are the goats not in pens? Are they allowed to roam freely? And what does that mean for the wetlands? And then those are my comments. Their similar comments are based off of May 20th. And, it just, again, There's just a concern about this being open to the public. As of this morning, there is still a listing for their current residents that's described as the wild and kind at the Funny Farm is a place for families to visit, experience, enjoy, and learn about a wide variety of different animal species, including farm animals, reptiles, I can't say this, arachnids, I'm afraid of spiders, birds, and many exotics such as hedgehogs, ferrets. Events, birthday parties, workshops, and camps opening soon 2024. So our concern is,
What was the last sentence?
it says opening soon 2024. So we're just concerned if this is at their residence now, is this coming to this residence, and does the land suit this? This isn't anything personal or anything like that. We're just trying to understand what's happening to this lot of
Okay.
land, considering we just also moved into the neighborhood.
Okay. Let's answer your last question, I think, first. If that's more of a planning board issue, correct? Or a zoning board?
Yes.
If there's going to be active Funny Farm.
I guess the concern is if this is open to the public and where the wetlands are and all of that, is that a concern to the commission? That's the question.
Then let's go first to the trees. The trees by the wetlands are our concern, correct?
So yeah, there is a large stand of pine trees. Some of them white pine. I think there might be some jack pine in there as well. That's not particularly healthy. There's a lot of, it's very thick in there, so there's a lot of dead and dying pine trees. As far as,
So they could call them out?
well, as far as their removal and impacts to wetlands, it's similar to any other site that this commission has approved permits for, where a site is, or portions of a site is clear cut. That's why there are erosion control measures put in place. The concern would be erosion and sedimentation after the clear cut, while the area is not stable.
Excuse me? You have to be recognized and you have to talk to me.
I have a question, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Is, in the acre area that she described, is that within the 100-foot, 50-foot buffer zone, or is that not even near those areas? That we're questioning that they're going to clear cut?
A good portion of it is outside of the 100-foot buffer. If you look, it's hard to see, and it seems the Zoom
Can you
function
blow that up or no?
not working very well.
The only reason I'm asking, Caitlin, because if it's not in our 100-foot or 50-foot buffer zone, then we really
There's
can't
nothing
tell
we
the
can
resident they can't cut trees down and clear the lot.
Yeah, so
We
you can,
can't tell them that.
So that
the blue, or the house line.
Where the house is and behind the house and in front of the house, that 1 acre of area. She's on it.
That's okay. I don't think anyone's
But
watching.
yeah, a good portion is not within any jurisdiction.
The house here, this corner of the house,
Put your paper down.
is within the 100-foot buffer. So the house, this green line here is the 100-foot buffer.
So they're just a little bit into the 100-foot buffer, and the house is going there for the most
So,
part.
yeah, so all of this area here is within the 100-foot buffer, and that is part of the area being clear cut.
Okay. But you've noted that, Caitlin, where those,
Yes, yep.
that's all I'm just want to get an idea. So 3/4 of the acre is not in the 100-foot boat, roughly, and 1/4 of it is.
Correct.
Okay.
And then another issue that was brought up, whether or not there are going to be animals there, I think it would be a good idea to include a special condition. I know we talked about this of,
Like a manure management plan.
right,
Most definitely, I would recommend that as
per
well.
the USDA guidelines.
Okay. Any final comment?
No.
Okay. No, yo, please. Is there somebody else that would like to talk?
Go over the green button. My name is Mark Sawyer. I'm a resident at 47 Turner Street, and our neighbors asked us to read the letter that I think you got into the record.
Okay.
If that's appropriate,
Please.
I'm just going to read it. Open letter to the Conservation Commission, Board of Health Agent, Town Building Commissioner, and Town Planner. Dear Chair, members. Excuse me?
Is it just the Conservation Commission, or Board of Health?
I'm just reading the letter. But yes. Dear Chair, members of the Commission, regarding the above, which is 41 Turner Street, we have issues and concerns and recommend that in the best interest of the town, the applicant, the abutters, and the concerned neighbors, we respectively request that the Conservation Commission seek guidance from Town Council that the hearing on June 12th be continued to allow Town Council an opportunity to review and advise on the following. Wetland buffer zone impact to approximately 19,000 square feet of vegetated buffer zone, including 3,300 square feet within the 50-foot buffer zone, a no alteration zone. The practice of the Commission and the intention of the Town of Norfolk wetland bylaws has been to limit wetland impact, especially with new construction. The proposal is as follows: 2 septic systems, possibly 1 in the buffer zone, 2 wells, possibly 1 in the buffer zone, 2 accessory buildings, excuse me, possibly within the buffer zone, a new home and a new barn, a very long driveway in the buffer zone, and a driveway and parking area from the existing accessory buildings. It is unclear where the rescue animals would roam and where the public area would be located. Stormwater management plan. The notice of intent on page 7, section C7 asks, is this project subject to provisions of the Mass DEP stormwater management standards? Response, no, the project is a single family, is exempt as a single family home. The applicant also indicates the new owner plan to utilize this area for farm animal rescue and public interest purposes. Therefore, the applicant is processing 3 uses: a single-family residence, a farm animal rescue, public interaction. While a stormwater management plan is not required for a single-family project, this application has 3 proposed uses, two of which would require a storm management plan. If the applicant owner are proposing uses exempt from zoning under the Dover Amendment, there would be many additional state and local regulations that need to be met prior to approvals. If the applicant is only seeking a single-family home use, the application should be amended, and the Conservation Committee decision should specifically confirm that. Title 5. The applicant's plan, as amended, shows an existing septic system and well. The existing septic system was installed within the last 10 years without an improved septic design. Board of Health, installation supervision, no certificate of compliance, and no Title V compliance at the time of conveyance last year. Zoning setbacks. While not a primary concern for the Conservation Commission, you are being asked to endorse a plan that shows 2 buildings violating setback regulations. As the lot was created in 2010, 23, the building should meet the 2023 zoning regulations. I respectfully request that the Conservation Commission keep the public hearing open and request an opinion from Town Council, as these matters are too important to all parties to proceed without appropriate guidance. Respectfully submitted, Timothy R. Martin, Mary Ellen Hurley, 40 Turner Street, Norfolk, Mass.
Thank you. Wait a minute, do you have something else to say?
Did I forgot to ask Russ a question?
You can ask me.
Okay. In the last meeting, so in addition to adding flags around the stream, there was some sort of test that was going to be done to determine if the stream is connected to a mentioned pond on Pennacook. Was that done? You had said that you would do the test yourself, whatever the test was to see. I think it was like a hydraulic test or something. There was, in the last meeting, it was mentioned about trying to make sure that the stream wasn't connected to a pond that was on Pennacook, and a test was going to be run.
Oh, that's over on Bill's property.
Microphone? Russ.
Thanks. I think that was in reference to the pond over across the street on Bill Greaves' property.
Yes.
And I'm actually just finished flagging Bill's property, and there is no hydrologic connection from that pond to the 41 Turner Street site.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That was my last question.
Okay. Initial, are there any other questions?
Well,
Or people want to talk?
I don't know if I even have to.
Well, no, please come up and,
Hello. I'm Jim Pagley. I'm the owner of the property, and we are. There's a lot that was said. I don't know if I can remember all the things to respond to. We're not clear-cutting any more of this lot that we need you to build a house, because we like the woods. That's why we bought the lot, because it's wooded and it's private, and we want to add vegetation to increase the privacy in the woodland. That said, as far as the buildings go and the 2 septic systems and the 2 whatever, yeah, we bought the property. It already had 2 buildings existing. One of them, unbeknownst to me when I bought it, apparently has a septic system or a septic tank of some sort on the property, which was, from the previous owner. But we're not installing 2 septic systems and 2 wells. There may be a well and a septic system existing there, but our application is for a single-family house with the barn and a septic and well to service that house. That's our application. As far as the uses, that's really not a purview of the Conservation Commission. And we are not seeking to do anything that we are not allowed to do by right, which we will take up with the zoning board and the appropriate departments. Nothing that we plan to do at our former address in a different town is relevant to this discussion, as far as I know. We don't intend to have our animals roaming free. They're in fenced-off penned areas now, and they will be in a better, newly constructed, purpose fenced-in protected area, separated on the new property. The 3 goats. We lost one, unfortunately, a couple weeks ago. But anyway, these animals that live outside will have a barn to go into at night and a paddock fence around them to contain them. No roaming around, getting off the property. Again, I can't remember everything that was said,
that's fine.
but I think that's enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Comments from the audience? Caitlin, do you want to say anything?
So the discussion about the potential connection to wetlands on Pennacook, that was just in regards to whether or not it's a locally protected stream or a state/locally protected stream. However, there was no distinction made on the plan, so that's a non-issue.
Okay. Have you had any conversations with the building department, or have they had any conversations with you?
Yes, we discussed the accessory building, and the building commissioner confirmed that there is no special permit or permit needed to use it as a education facility or storage, or any of the uses that are discussed in the NOI narrative. There was some mention of questions about, where people will park and things like that, and if in the future additional work needs to be done that isn't described in this notice of intent, an amendment would be needed, or potentially a separate filing.
But they'd have to go before the
That's-
planning board first, or the zoning board?
I guess it would be dependent on, what eventually happens there, if anything.
I believe, Dave, you're limited to how many parking spots you can have on a residential property,
Yes.
anyway. But again, that's like you said, zoning and planning. I do have a question, if I may. I wasn't able to do the walk, but I do drive up there. 41, there's a house there. There's a little house at the edge of the road. Is that 41, is that your property?
Accessory building,
That's the accessory building we're talking about? Now, is that's gonna stay there, right at the edge of the road?
Yeah, I can't move it.
No, I'm just curious because it looks like somebody's living in it when I went by it, and it's right there at the edge of the road, so.
No one's living in, there's no power to it.
Okay.
It was existing, we bought the property.
All right, I'm only asking for that reason, so, all right, thanks. He didn't have a mic, but.
So in your opinion, Caitlin, does the applicant meet the notice of intent, or should we amend it as you mentioned?
So as it's described in the narrative and on the WPA Form 3, and as shown on the plan, it meets all the performance standards of the act and of the bylaw. So I don't see any reason why the commission couldn't close the hearing and issue an order of conditions. We've talked about a number of special conditions, and after hearing comments tonight, I thought of a couple special conditions. I can go over those now.
No, we can close it and then, right, and then talk about the special conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then, I'll accept a motion to close this hearing.
Motion to close this meeting.
Hearing. Can't go home yet.
Good try. That was good. I like it.
This close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Somebody used a second.
Ellen did.
I was going to, but I thought you were going to grab it, but I'll second that.
That's awkward. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I abstain.
Okay.
You have the right to do that.
Special conditions.
So some recommendations I have for special conditions. One, erosion controls should consist of a minimum 12-inch diameter silt sock used in conjunction with silt fencing installed at the limit of work. Additionally, per Mass DEP comment, erosion control barrier should be placed around any spoil piles associated with the drinking water well installation. And then prior to the start of work, I think this would be an appropriate project to hold a pre-construction meeting. And for the pre-construction meeting, that should be between the applicant, the general contractor, or any subcontractors that might be appropriate. And then for that pre-construction meeting, prior to that, the commission should receive a manure management plan. The order of conditions should be recorded at the Registry of Deeds, and the erosion control boundary / limit of work should be staked out for review. Following the pre-construction meeting and confirmation of the erosion control boundary, staked erosion control boundary, once those erosion controls are installed, either myself or another representative of the commission should inspect those prior to commencement of work.
Can we also add to that, and they're to be kept up during the construction?
Maintained.
Maintained.
Yes. Is there, on a weekly basis, or just like a general note that they should be maintained?
Just, I don't know.
General maintained.
General maintenance, we don't want to go up there 2 weeks into the construction site and see all the barriers all disintegrated and fall apart. So they got to be maintained until they get a closing on the property, or they're done.
You could allow for your random inspections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, pretty much already included in our, the special
Okay.
conditions as well as the general conditions put together by the state. Also, a recommended special condition that the wetland resource area boundaries should be valid for this order of conditions only, meaning new and/or subsequent applications for proposed projects potentially could be subject to a reevaluation of resource area boundaries. And already went over that. And then I think the last was just to discuss if there were any thoughts from the board on planting along the driveway
I think
during construction and following
yeah, I
final
think the
grading.
normal contractor mix that grows fast.
So after installation, an erosion control mix be placed down, and then after final grading, is there any sort of thoughts on a wildlife conservation mix being overseeded in that area?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This will stay wildlife. It's not going to be able to be mowed or anything afterwards. Once they put the driveway in, it's going to be planted and stay that way, correct? This isn't something they'll be able to mow on both sides of the driveway and the wetlands and stuff, or is it?
So actually, with the conservation wildlife mix, it actually is good to mow it every 2 to
Okay.
3 years. So I could add that to the special condition, to mow every second year, every third year.
Okay, I just want to know what the, status is
Yeah,
with
let's
it.
put that in.
Okay, yes. So it's actually beneficial to mow and kind of mix the seeds into the soil.
Okay. Works for me.
Okay, then. I'll accept a motion regarding the special conditions as discussed. And if you could outline those and send them to us.
Yes, will do. So there's,
So let me back up. I won't accept a motion to accept the special order conditions. Why don't you list them all out, send them to us, and at the next meeting, we'll approve them. Decide and review.
so that would be, the applicant would have to agree to waive the 21-day issuance of the order of conditions, or,
Read them right now, we get approval tonight, I mean, they also reasonable to me.
Can we sign them during the week at some point? If we get them together,
yeah, so there's
As-
21 days to issue the order.
so,
So do we issue it
Just-
tonight with that
So-
amendment that we gotta get the order conditions together, the?
Put them in print and
But,
sign them.
I mean, I wanna make sure we do it the right way, that's all.
yeah.
You know, but I also don't wanna hold the applicant up from starting their project.
Well, I don't think we have to if we can get them signed during the week, but I think they should be drafted up with the order of conditions as well,
Yeah.
Right. So essentially, you just want to see, them all in writing that we've talked about, because I know there's a lot of little details. And yeah, so there's 21 days from today to finalize that language.
Okay.
And it seems that the applicant is amenable to the discuss special conditions.
Especially as it seems reasonable to do, yeah, I mean, fine, so.
So, yeah, if you could put it down on paper and let us know, and we'll come in and sign off on them.
Okay. Can do.
Okay. With that, I'll accept a motion to close the meeting. Or, the hearing.
It's catching.
Peter, you see what you
It's
started?
just a sign.
Close the hearing.
Adam Zucker, so moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then.
Okay.
It's closed. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Russ. Seaconic Street, culvert replacement.
So,
And you can, yeah. Notice of intent, DEP file 2400670, and we have, I believe, a representative on the screen. Please go ahead and identify yourself.
Hi, good evening. I'm Lauren Gluck with Park Corporation, and also here from Park Corporation is Eric Silva, the project engineer. So last time we were here with you, we did an overview of the project, and there were a few outstanding comments about the project concerning meeting the stormwater standards, showing erosion controls along the length of the water main replacement bordering the wetland, and also we were waiting for a DEP file number. So we've since received a DEP file number which had one comment attached with it, and today we provided you with a letter responding to that comment, and I can go over that briefly. The comment was just regarding the exemption for the water main replacement portion of the project and which category it would fit into. We had specified 10.02 to be 2, I believe, or 2B1, which excluded enlargements of projects. And DEP had suggested that we went with the minor activities and buffer zone exemption, which was 10.02 2B2, which does not exclude enlargements of structures as long as you are working within the roadway, within trenches that are closed at the completion of each workday. So that is the case here for this project. We're working entirely within the roadway. It's only buffer zone. There's a little bit of riverfront area where we're overlapping with the culvert. There's no floodplain. There's no encroachment onto the shoulder or any impact to BVW associated with that work. And it'll be done kind of as they go during the workday. It'll be excavated out. Material will be stockpiled on the roadway and then replaced back in the trench at the end of the workday and patched over with temporary pavement. So the area will be entirely stabilized at the end of each workday. There will be no chance for that material to run off into the wetlands or be stockpiled for a long duration adjacent to the wetlands. So that comment, we believe, has been addressed. We are still working through the stormwater standards, and we hope to get you something, a memo by the next meeting. And then we also did send a revised plan sheet. I believe it was sheet number 21, showing the erosion controls a little bit more clearly along the vernal pool and BVW at the north end of the water main replacement. I'm just calling those out as compost filter socks in that location. So I believe those were the main outstanding issues at the last meeting, and we understand we can't close out without the stormwater standards portion, but wanted to just give an update and see if there were any more questions.
Okay. Barry, would you like to make any comments?
Yeah, so I just wanted to...
First, identify yourself, please.
Oh, absolutely. Barry Riviere, Assistant Director of the Norfolk DPW.
Thank you.
We've been working on this project for close to 3 years. We finally got ARPA funding so we can proceed with it. We had some allocation at the last town meeting for about $900,000 so we could do the water main portion of the project. We are on a bit of a tight deadline with this schedule. The ARPA funding allowed us a little wiggle room. We need to have this advertised and ready to bid in October and then awarded by December. So anything the commission can do to help us out to get this timeline set and done would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in the audience on Zoom would like to make a comment? Okay, Caitlin? You first.
Yeah, so the letter from PAR addressing the Mass DEP comments came in about midday today. So I didn't have a chance to fully look into the other exemption that they are claiming fits this activity. However, one notable thing is that work is in bordering land subject to flooding. It's within the roadway, but the roadway is still considered BLSF. And the exemption is for buffer zone work only. So I would have to look into that more. Additionally, that exemption requires that best management practices are utilized, not just closing trenches at the end of the day. I believe Lauren mentioned stockpiling material on the roadway at night.
No, I didn't say at night. I said during the workday, and that it would be replaced back into the trench at the end of each workday. And that's very, I know you haven't had a chance to look through the letter, but that's all laid out there. And also, the bordering land subject to flooding does not cross the roadway.
So Caitlin, I can kind of address that. So we're doing a similar project right now on Village Green. We're doing the water main work, and then we're going to do the culvert work. So on Village Green, we literally dig the extent of the pipe, backfill the pipe, fill it in, top the roadway, keep going the next day. This project is going to be done in the same manner. We don't need erosion controls and things like that on Village Green. Most of the work that we're seeing on Seekonk Street is within the roadway, individual trench being dug, pipe being laid, overfilled, top the next day. So the extent of, the erosion that we're thinking about is probably going to be minimal here. We're in a low-lying area. It's a tough area to deal with. It overtops. We've had several instances where the road is flooded. We need to fix this culvert. We have ARPA funding. We've had grants to get us to this point. Without this, we're in a tough situation. We really need to move forward on this project.
Okay, thank you.
I think essentially what I believe needs to be provided is information to confirm that there won't be any impacts to resource areas to meet that exemption.
I think I did provide that today in the letter, which you said you haven't had a chance to review yet, so there's not much more to say than what's in the letter.
Okay, well, we're going to let's continue it until next month. There's plenty of time to get the October start date going, if approved. So let's continue this until the August, what?
July 10.
July 10th.
Yeah, Chairman
July
Torrey, we were given a grace period from the county regarding the ARPA funding. They actually fudged it a little with us. The October date to advertise, the December date to bid is tight. I've talked to, town administrator, town assistant administrator, given my assurances that we will be able to get this job done within that time period. If we don't get this funding and if it's held up, the town's going to lose $100.4 million, and I'm going to have to answer to the big boss, and I don't want to have to do that.
Okay. Well, let's continue it until July, and you have time to read the letter from
Yeah,
PAR, and then in between then, if you have any questions, you can talk to them, you can talk to DPW and get anything clarified so that we're ready to make a decision at the next meeting. One way or
Definitely,
another.
and I think it might be a good idea to either set up a Zoom call or a meeting to go over what materials still need to be provided so that the commission can be sure that, the performance standards of the Wetlands Protection Act as well as the bylaw are being met here.
And you can give them some guidance if they need it.
Yes. And yeah, we can set that up soon.
Okay,
That'd be great. Thank you.
thank you. So I'll accept the motion to continue this to the next meeting.
7:01.
What?
We can do it at 7:01,
7:01.
July 10th.
Motion to continue to 7:01 on July 10th.
Second?
Valstone, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll continue it in July and hopefully complete it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night. Okay. 24 Kingsbury Pond, notice of intent, DP 240-0669. Accept the motion to open this meeting, hearing.
Valstone, I make a motion to open the public hearing for 24 Kingsbury Pond, notice of intent, DP number 240-0669.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Donald Seaberg. I'm with Glosser Engineering.
Okay, bring it closer.
My name is Donald Seaberg. I'm with Glosser Engineering, and I'm here on behalf of the applicant. Was William and Gretchen Houlihan. What we're basically doing is fixing a failed septic system. As you can see, there's an actual old cesspool, right, pretty much kind of in the middle of where this septic system's going now. So, site is very, very tight. This is basically the only spot where this is going to fit. We have approval from the Board of Health. We're proposing to go right around the whole area of disturbance here with hay bales, not hay bales, but siltation control. All the excavation is going to be taken off-site as they excavate because there's no place to put it on. There will be a little bit, what they usually do is leave just a little bit of a windrow around the site, so when it's done, they can just backfill over it.
Okay.
We are, probably about 35, maybe they're about a good 35 feet above Kingsbury Pond, which is really the only resource area. And that's really it in a nutshell.
Okay. Caitlin?
Could you please just summarize the correspondence with Natural Heritage? So, portions of the site are located within mapped priority habitat. So the notice of intent was sent to Natural Heritage for comment, and they issued their comment letter on June 6th.
We're talking about fisheries and wildlife letter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, they just say, based on a review of the information provided, the information is currently contained in our database. The division has determined that this project is currently proposed will not adversely affect any resource area of habitat, state protected rare wildlife. Therefore, it is in our opinion that this meets the state listed species performance standards for the issuance of an order of conditions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Dawn, correct?
Yes.
As Dawn was saying, it's a pretty straightforward project. Abandonment of the existing cesspool, installation of a new underground Presby sewage system. There obviously isn't a lot of room on the site, which was a major constraint. However, there is no work within 50 feet of the edge of water. Other than that, I didn't have any comments. I prepared some potential special conditions if the commission feels comfortable moving forward.
Okay. Then with any comments before we close the hearing?
Well,
There has to be a solution,
yes.
because they need a septic.
It's going in the same place as the one at the cesspool now?
Basically, it's in the same area, and that has failed.
Is the
So
house-
it's paramount that they fix it.
vacant right now,
No,
or-
they live there, and they're fixing it. They're intending to stay there.
So my question would be is, while the construction is going on, the cesspool goes away, where's the septic going to be going at that point?
Well, what happens is they usually put the tank in first.
Right.
So they
So
put...
there is a tank going in?
Yeah, there's a new tank going
Okay,
in, so
so
what
there's
happens
room.
is you have
All right.
1,500 gallons.
There's room for that then,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know if there was room for that or what was...
No, it's...
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, I'm good.
Okay. Anything else? Comments? Then I'll accept the motion to close this hearing.
Adam Zucker, so moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So, special conditions.
So recommendations I have for special conditions. One, erosion controls should consist of a minimum 10-inch diameter silt sock used in conjunction with a silt fence. And those erosion controls should remain in place until a full certificate of compliance has been issued. I think it's important to include that just because we're dealing with a steep slope out there. Two, prior to the start of work, the conservation agent or representative of the Conservation Commission shall inspect the erosion control barrier. A minimum of 1 week's notice shall be provided for that inspection. 3, no stockpiling of excavation and/or fill material shall take place on site other than what is necessary for backfilling of the system.
Okay. Then I'll accept a motion regarding the special conditions.
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions for 24 Kingsbury Road. Notice of intent, DEP 240-0669, with the 3 special conditions as mentioned.
Second?
I second that motion.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, action items. 18 Main Street, mitigation.
Yes, and the owner, Paul, is not going to be in attendance tonight, but I'll provide you with an update. So I've conducted 2 recent site visits, one on May 29th and one this past Monday, June 10th, to review and assess the mitigation efforts, primarily revegetation of the disturbed areas. I noted that there was a successful revegetation of the slopes and other disturbed areas. I also noted no additional evidence that further sedimentation was taking place, so there were no drainage patterns, turbidity of the water, things of that nature. Additionally, a plan titled Plan of Land located at 18 Main Street, Norfolk, Mass, was submitted to the commission. And Elaine, would you mind pulling that up? And so the plan shows the property, the flagged resource areas, which I confirmed in the field, and I think the main takeaway from my review of the plan is that there were no impacts or alterations to floodplain or designated floodway. So right now we're just dealing with buffer zone impacts.
Okay. Comments? Questions? I think they've met the intent of our order. So with that, I'll accept a motion to rescind the enforcement order, if that's what the commission would like to do.
Al Finney, so moved.
Second?
Adam Zucker, second.
Further discussion?
So I'll let the owner know he can remove,
Once we vote on it.
oh,
Well, finally! All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Caitlin.
so I'll let the owner know he can remove the wire mesh stabilization. The vegetation actually growing up underneath it is pretty close to, being entangled with that, so.
Okay, good.
But yeah, there was a good amount of native species out there. Whatever seed mix that Norman used was a good one.
Good. Successful enforcement order and completion of it. 19 King Philip Trail, they've hired a surveyor.
So at the last meeting, the plans were still being drafted and have since been finalized based on some of the discussions at the last meeting and that I've had with their engineer. So once a hard copy of the stamp plan is submitted, just so I can review and confirm for accuracy, work can commence for that restoration work.
Okay, any questions, comments?
Does any of that work?
What's that?
Sorry. Does any of that work require an NOI, or are they just going to do the work?
So the work is allowable under the enforcement order.
Great. Sounds good.
So at this point, we just keep it in place?
Correct.
Okay.
So we don't vote on anything, it's just continuation.
Just discussion, yep.
Okay.
Okay, 269 Dedham Street, violation notice, Carvana.
So I believe there's a couple pieces of email correspondence. And, so the history behind this kind of goes pretty far back. So it was last summer, someone from the EPA office in Boston that deals with NIPD's complaints reached out that they had gotten an anonymous tip that someone was essentially dumping chemicals into the river. Unfortunately, that anonymous tip didn't include any contact information to follow up, and it also listed the wrong property owner. So it's my understanding that a letter by the EPA was sent out, but was sent to a different business on Dedham Street. And then I think it was back in March, DEP received a complaint. This time it was not anonymous, so they were able to get more information that essentially Carvana was washing and detailing cars, and then using brooms to kind of push that water off down the hill to Stop River. DEP has issued a verbal cease and desist, and Carvana has verbally agreed to stop any sort of car washing, detailing, until they can figure out how to contain that water. You can actually see in some of the aerials water kind of running out of the building where they do those. And so DP first got in contact with me about a month ago, and I was waiting on them. They were trying to set up a site inspection. However, I haven't heard any additional information from them. So I wanted to bring it to the board's attention for consideration. It's my understanding that there is still only a verbal cease and desist in place. I think it might be pertinent to issue a written cease and desist for those activities and potentially set up a site visit to see if there may have been any impacts to Stop River, the 200-foot riverfront area, any wetlands along the river, if there are any, and things like that. And based on that site visit, potentially.
And at the site visit, they could also confirm how they're using waterless cleaners and applying by hand and not using.
And so, to start a line of communication with them.
Is this just detailing, cleaning, washing cars, or is there more to this than just that?
Washing cars, polishing.
Is there antifreeze and oil, and that's what I'm...
Cleaning?
So, just washing cars.
No
wax,
mechanical.
Rust remover.
Okay, so it's basically car washing.
There's been no
too.
mention of, mechanical-related issues, like
Automotive.
oil,
Automotive stuff, yeah.
Not that I know of. It's potentially that may have been occurring.
I would assume that being what they are, a refurbishment, that they would be changing oil and fluids, wouldn't they?
Not sure, but that's what I would like to see,
Yeah.
because if that's why we need to do a walk.
Right.
It's pretty hidden back there with fencing, you can't see nothing that goes on back there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's
Yeah.
there's Stop River. There's also wetlands to the west of the parking area, and then a stream that flows into Stop River. So there's a lot of different resource areas.
All the drainage, I believe, from Sharon Ave, is it there? Not Sharon Ave, but that all goes across the street and in out
Correct.
through the back of that area.
Yeah.
Correct. And I found some old site plans from the late 80s that show there's a trench drain at the edge of kind of the ramp up to that building. But there's no details on where that trench drain
Goes.
It's possible that it might be non-functional at this point, considering, I mean, the aerials, the water is kind of just flowing over it. So, but if, there is an outfall somewhere, that's something that would need to be located.
My recommendation is that we give them a cease and desist and have an inspection and then review it after that.
Okay, so written cease and desist.
Everybody in agreement?
Yes, I agree.
And so, there's no vote needed for that.
Okay.
And then I'll send that letter out as soon as possible. Get in touch with the property manager there and see what might work with potential dates, times for a site visit.
Okay. Let us know. Okay, minutes. You like them?
I liked them.
You're the clerk.
We got them taken care of.
All the errors are fixed? No.
Oh, boy, you're mean. Okay, then I'll accept a motion to approve the April 10th and May 20th board meeting minutes.
Can I vote on the May minutes, even though I just watched the video to scrutinize
Did you
them?
sign the form?
Not yet.
Okay, yeah,
If you
well,
watch the video, then yes.
we'll allow that.
But I will sign the form later.
You're going to vote on your own minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, it passes.
They're
Correspond-
Lane's minutes.
Then
Was that both?
correspondence.
Was that April and May's we just voted on, or just April? Okay, we're good with, okay.
Letter from Norfolk Register of Deeds regarding CPA funds.
Oh, yeah.
Do we vote on May?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
at the same time.
Oh, okay. Very efficient.
Game night.
Yeah, so the CPA funds generated, would you mind pulling that up?
Where did I just see that? I just read that letter.
Oh, well, she's pulling that up, the Bay State Correctional Overflow information. Anything new
But I can't
that we haven't heard publicly?
No, there's currently no proposed or even conceptual
Are you talking water here or
or
people?
activities on
The
that
people.
property
Oh, okay.
that I'm aware of.
Yes, the four.
Gotcha, all right. I just wondered.
So there were resident concerns about potential impacts to wetlands and, if and when work is proposed, that facility would be subject to the Wetlands Protection Act and the local bylaw, same as everyone else.
Now, there's been comments that there's contamination on the site, but that's not our concern, it's the health department, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's
So the-
interior.
No.
Well,
Exterior, is it?
the fire department handles, well, new releases.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a number of RTNs, release tracking numbers for various spills over the years. But the most recent one that we just dealt with is the only one that is still open,
Active,
to my
okay.
knowledge. They've all been closed out, meaning that DEP, Bureau of Waste Management, has certified that they've been cleaned up to their regulations, the MCP.
Does the fire department do any inspections just to see, like on this new site that is being reused, go out to see and make sure there's nothing obvious in contamination?
I don't know.
Okay.
The dam out back and our issue with the water and everything out back, that was rectified, right? And we closed that, or is that still open? Remember there was the
That
dam
was-
up, is that still open?
Yeah, so that, no, they got, I
thought
believe
we
they got a
closed.
COC for
I
that.
wasn't sure.
Yeah.
In my brain, I'm getting old, but that did get closed, right?
It did, yes.
You can't have a Mustang anymore.
No, I can't.
Okay. Conservation property rules and regulations. I don't know if everybody has the paperwork from before.
Is this Wednesday? I mean, this May.
Yeah, it'd be in the
We voted on that stuff, didn't we? Or no? Thought we
It
approved it.
was the last thing on the agenda for the meeting last month, and
We continued it.
Yeah.
we decided to push it off.
Because it was this
So
late
I
night.
don't know where I'm at with that.
Okay.
I
think in general, we all agreed that those were,
So essentially, a former commission board put these new rules and regulations together. However, there's no official record with the town clerk's office of a vote to approve these. So this is just cleaning that up. So there will be an official vote on record for future signage and things like that.
Well, I'm already having a problem. There's no hunting and bow arrow and nothing.
correct.
You see them up there?
Yes. I
And
believe,
this was, I was on the board at this time. I kind of directed this, along with Caitlin. I don't know, was Janet here and part of it?
Yeah, this was before my time.
I was gonna say, because I don't recall this. This was,
When you were old.
and I've been here 5 years almost, so I
You're
just,
old.
right.
Yeah, I think this was,
It was, yeah, it was more than fact.
yeah.
I did read them though, and they seem to be pretty
Straightforward.
straightforward.
Yep. Okay, then, let's accept a motion to accept the conservation property rules and regulations for all property owned in Norfolk.
So moved.
Adam Zucker, second.
Thank you, Adam.
He beat me to it.
No,
No, Adam said it, I didn't say a thing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think we need to separate.
Well, he's normally over here, so.
Val's been real quiet tonight, huh?
Yes.
It's his
Makes
last
me
day of
sus-
school.
Oh, that's what, yeah, there it is,
That's
okay.
it.
Be
He's
suspicious.
relaxed.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay. Regarding board appointments of members, myself and Jim Wilson, terms are up, and both of us have indicated that we want to continue on.
Oh, awesome. I thought you were...
Jim did? You spoke to Jim?
I spoke to Jim.
Yes.
He's home. Rosie's home. Getting back together. He's back to work. getting
Okay.
things.
Awesome.
So
Yes.
hopefully, next meeting or two, he'll be back in the seat.
Good, good.
Where's my resignation here? I didn't, it's not.
There is no resignation accepted.
Oh, that's next year. I'm sorry. I got one more year.
Okay, so the next meeting is July 10th. Anybody in the audience have a comment, questions? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Also, my second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Enough?